for as long as meta-humanity can remember, all dreamt of flying, shaking loose these earthly bounds to go up into the sky, the lands of birds and gods, more recently planes, but not me. I wanted to go the other way, and I tell you, it's just as good as flying. Freedom, the motion of the ocean, that you just go wherever you want, up, down, left, right, not being constrained. Down here beneath the waves, it's just as good as flying. Hello, everyone. I haven't done one of these videos in a long time, and I've kind of changed things up a little bit to see if I can make the content more digestible and a little shorter. So I've done a lot of the groundwork already for what I'm going to go with here today. There's a guy over on the Shadowrun subreddit. I believe he goes by G-Man. He's been making Disney princess runners. It sounds a little weird, but they're kind of based upon the princesses from their various movies and stuff. If I can get a link to the pile of those, I will throw them in here. But he mentioned he was having problems with Ariel, and I had a crazy idea that I tried to make into a runner a while ago. But when I started playing around with the liminal body rules, I realized these rules don't actually work out. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna apply the groundwork that I had there in my mind to this Disney princess runner idea he had, and I'm gonna kind of try and do Ariel, as we all know, because Disney markets everything to everyone. Ariel's a mermaid who became human, so I have a bit of an idea on how we can kind of make that work, but it's gonna take a little bit of rule of cool slash uh, GM buy-in to really make it actually work. So real quick, just to kind of go through what I have here that I've done before I started this. I went with human because humans are cool. Could easily be elf if you wanted, but that's up to you. And then I went with a more mentally distributed but heavily augmented build here. The idea is going to be that she is more of a deep sea salvage slash um, saboteur kind of thing. Um, which is where we're going to leave some of the mental stuff in. She was, I don't want to say that she wasn't bright as the character Ariel, but had a different sort of education, being a sea creature. But we're gonna just kind of move along a little bit. For some qualities, I picked up double jointed because I had this idea of the you know fish swimming around sunken sea wrecks. They're gonna twist and turn and more flexibility. Perfect time is gonna fit in with some of the music based things because that was one of the things she lost her voice. Mermaids love singing, which is some mythology stuff. Some it's a Disney movie, so lots of singing in it. Water sprite because if we're going to make an aquatic based runner, how are we not going to take the quality that improves swimmingness? Down here into the negatives, I grabbed the creature of comfort middle because this is a Disney princess, and I couldn't really think of any other good negative qualities. Um, Lack of focus. I always remember her being kind of scatterbrained. That might have been because she had that fascination or that curiosity with everything from the other world, and anytime she ran across something new, it was um, immediately gobbled up her attention to occupy her. And then finally, loss of confidence for performance is that whole loss of voice thing. There is no mute quality because it really wouldn't be worth that many points with the way that nowadays we have a lot of text to speech software, and 60 years in the future, let's face it, between AR and all of the other advancements, it's hardly worth any actual karma. But I feel like the singing thing may have something a little bit more interesting than just oh, well, she can't talk. Um, Now I guess I'll get into some of the interesting ideas that I had for how to manifest this, and we'll start with the big one, which would be she is a mermaid, therefore she needs fish legs. Well, I shouldn't say fish legs. Um, we're gonna give her some cyber legs. I already did the one just to kind of price it out and see where it would land, and now we're gonna build the other one here. Um, some of this stuff is gonna sound kind of weird, but hear me out on the idea, and I'll just go straight to it. Um, there was an augment that was not highly used, and that was the telescopic limbs augment. Um, this lets you stretch your legs out. Normally, it applies a strength and not just a strength penalty. Um, however, if we apply a little rule of cool and a little bit of GM buy-in on this whole like mermaid idea, when they market things like the liminal bodies and the centaur things, I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't find a way to kind of make all of those little mermaid princess girl dreams come true from fairy tale land. Just kind of seems like a prime marketing thing to get into. So with the idea that you can use the telescopic limbs to extend your legs, maybe like in the sections that are extended, they, I don't know, kind of screw in together and kind of lock you into a big one big tail. That's what I'm gonna kind of go with as a hey, this sounds cool, right? Throw in like these cyber fins here, which are literally fins that can just be, feet spread out. Now, look at this. We're getting closer to that whole mermaid tail idea. I'm going to grab the water jets because obviously we need to go as swimmingly as possible. And then finally, we have a little bit of room here. I don't remember what I put into the other one, so I'm going to cheat and look real quick. Uh, let's find out. Strength, agility, water jet. Oh, the swimming customization because obviously we need to have swimming customized legs with our mermaid here. Just find that real quick, and then I will move on to the rest. In her one cyber arm, I threw in uh, a lot of customization, and I threw in a grapple. The idea being that she already has a bunch of augments to help her get through the water and such. But like when you come up to a boat, you need to get up onto the boat in order to get on board and sabotage it. So swimming up to it, you just kind of pop halfway out the water, you shoot your hand up there, and it pulls you up. Um, I went with the grapple hand because it comes with the winch and cord and all of that other stuff built into it, as opposed to the implanted grapple gun. You have to like open it up, attach the cord, and then do stuff with it. So that was my thought process there. On the rest of the augmentations that I have going on here, um, cyber ears have a couple of things in it. Mostly the increased hearing spectrum because I was looking for a way to get that sonar effect because let's face it, underwater you're not going to see a whole lot. Uh, audio analyzer, the ear protection. I got that really cool idea of like she's like, all right, here I go. I'm going to dive into water. There's just little cuppy things come over the ears. The eyes go all Adam Jensen because you're going underwater and it's kind of like having a built-in face mask. The eyes I threw in some things to help underwater, the lenses and the eye light system to help see, that whole anglerfish kind of idea where the light is coming out of your eyes and showing you around. Gastronomic stimulator helps with nausea associated with, you know, nitrogen poisoning and all that stuff that mentions swimmers in the description. The cyber gill because we're making a mermaid. Duh. Mnemonic enhancers are the single most probably overpowered uh, Bioware in the game. They turn your knowledge skills into know all skills. It's pretty great. The vocal range enhancers here once again to supplement that siren singing idea that we had because that's who she was. And then the two other big ones we're going to have here are the orthoskin adaptations. Uh, Seal skin removes penalties associated with moving through water, allowing you to operate underwater as easily as in air. And then the penguin blubber allows you to withstand the cold temperatures a lot easier. So those were my two choices there. I still have a bunch of essence, and because it turns out a lot of the underwater weapons like this harpoon gun are actually two-handed, I think I'm going to give her a second cyber arm and load it up with a lot of the utility uh, utility modifications that she's going to need to operate. So let me go to arm. Oh, there's no, that's not at all how I do that. Like this. All right, so this could be her offhand, and we're just going to boost her agility here to make math a little easier. Things you're going to need underwater that I haven't already put in yet. I like the idea of a radar sensor. I'm going to crank that up. That piece of tech is awesome. And alongside that, I'm going to throw in a math SP to make the radar sensor just strictly better. If your GM will let you add in some kind of ultrasound sensor, or if he wants to use the radar sensor as um, sonar, go with that. Going to throw in a little orientation system to help from getting turned around underwater. I will throw in a cyber fin because obviously webbed hands plus feet plus mermaid. It's where we're going with this. Throw in an internal air tank because I kind of need that if you're going to be underwater for any extended period of time. And then that'll leave us uh, a bunch of space. I think I will crank her agility here, and I'll throw in a little bit of armor because one of the problems about you know the idea of this build being she's gonna jump into the water, swim over to the wherever it is that she's going to sabotage, and then come out and do the thing. Having a little bit of extra armor on you, probably not a bad idea. Um, a lot. I apologize, and I will throw that on there. Just got left. Who would have thought Ariel would have less than a quarter of an essence left? Poor girl. And then let me take a quick look here. I think we're going to spend a little bit of extra money so we can go up to a 2-hour internal air tank. It helps to uh, extend our operation times underwater. It's going to kind of wrap that part of it up. I'm going to come in here and spend a little bit of our skill points that we have left laying around. We have a couple of ranks in archery already to deal with the harpoon gun underwater. Gonna bounce off of that a little bit and grab a crossbow for our main weaponry. I say that with air quotes. I'm just gonna grab one of these little light crossbows, and then I'm gonna load it full of stick and shock and stick and shaft arrows because they are insane. 12 stun, AP -5 electric is pretty insane for a gun. Let alone like it's the one thing I really like about archery is these things are great. And we'll just stick with those for now. Tweak the gun up a little bit with the personalized grip. And can I actually keep extra? And all right, that'll help us kind of have something that we can actually shoot. She can probably deal with like a small dive bag to bring that with. I couldn't. Could I fit? No. And no. I was trying to see if there was room to find a smuggling compartment, which I don't know if it will fit. That'll be kind of like up to your GM as to whether or not that will fit the little crossbow. I was looking around for a hand crossbow, and I couldn't I couldn't really find one. I remember seeing it. Throw it in the comment section if you find it, um, and we will hopefully get her a little bit more armed and armored. Missing. Just terrible. Find. Nope. All right. Screw it. We'll finish up her skills and her knowledge skills. Obviously, she's gonna have some diving because that's how you work things underwater. The calculation here on the swimming skill is obviously incorrect because we have a whole bunch of cyberlim optimizations for it. Um, I believe four, so that should be +4. No, this is there's a problem. I don't really know how to fix that because I don't see enough space to fit in there. So we'll need to napkin math that out. We do know that we have 4 ranks from swimming. We have +2 from our quality. Our cyber fins that we have, I believe they give us each pair increases your swimming skill by 1, so we have 2 pairs, so that gives us another 2. That brings us up to 8 base right there. The water jets in our legs, do they just multiply my speed? Yeah, they just multiply my speed. So those are gonna do do good for us to go faster. Depending upon how your GM wants to work it, because the cyber fins also triple. I'm sorry, they increase your. Lastly, a user with a pair of cyber fins has their swimming speed increased to 150% or 200% with 2 pairs. So with the 2 pair that we have, we're looking at 200% movement speed. And the water jets say that they triple your movement speed underwater. I'll let you guys figure out how that wants to math out at your table because there is a lot of weird things with Shadowrun movement. Like when you get the movement power involved, you start leveling cities because you break the sound barrier and you do wonderfully horrible things. But our legs have been kitted out with 9 strength, and swimming is a strength-based skill. Granted, it's easily a full body thing. So even if we go with leg, torso, that's 9, 18, and then 20 divided by 3, so that's base strength of 7, and then 13, 14, 15. We're looking somewhere in the 18-ish range for swimming dice, which I feel is probably pretty good for a mermaid. Eh. Um, but let's finish off some skills here. She has the archery to kind of do a little bit of offensive stuff, but again, she is here to sabotage things. So I'm gonna throw the engineering group on there. I'm gonna throw in some demolitions, and then see where we can kind of kick these up to. Yeah, I'm gonna throw one of my group points on the outdoors group because it's gonna help with the navigation and survival. They're probably pretty good for your water-based activities. The tracking less so, but you know it's kind of fitting. I will bump up my engineering to use the rest of it. It leaves us with 6 skill points left. I don't really know what else I want to put in. She doesn't need a whole lot. Uh, Demolitions will be good for blowing things up to do that whole sabotage thing. You could very easily see a situation where you go underwater, go underneath another boat, and then use your demo skill to actually attach explosives to it and then sink it. Because you're gonna salvage things. So I'm gonna leave those. No, I'm not gonna leave them floating. Let's go down. Uh, let's do escape artist. Let's do a little bit of gymnastics. And what else? What else makes sense here? Part of me wants to do like a couple of points of hacking just because you have to get past things. I guess I could do locksmith because that's something you will probably have to do as saboteuring. Put a couple of more points to put a climbing spec on our gymnastics because we are. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot a very important thing that we need a exotic range skill for our grapple gun or our grapple hand, as the case may be, so that we can actually get places with it well, instead of just sinking. So that'll use up some of our extra karma. We have a bunch of new yen left. I put some of the more expensive things in as far as like a fake sin and a little bit of a lifestyle. Uh, gonna throw on a contact here. He's gonna be Nathan of Triton Salvage. He's gonna be my buddy, and he's gonna be pretty well connected for a guy who, um, well, anybody played Uncharted 4? Because that also has a little bit of influence here. The ideas in my head, and then we'll throw another, and I'll just be really blatant. He will be Sully, and he will be a smuggler, because you got to be able to move stuff. And Sully was always really connected to team, so just push that up there. And then finally, our knowledge, our professional skills. Let's do uh, trying to find the words for like sunken pirate treasure. I guess that would just be salvage. And then let's put a spec of aquatic. Put a couple points into that. Let's throw a interest on here of music, singing. Throw another. Let's do academic. And this is going to be paras or ology. Because when something is going to eat you, it helps to know what it is. And every once in a while, like animals crop up on runs, and that's kind of nice to have an idea on what they are. Especially, let's just do both. Let's do parazoology, and let's do mundane zoology, and we'll put aquatics in both of those. It helps to keep you from being eaten. I wish I had a better name for that cell. Just sorry, I'm gonna knock that down. Oh, an important thing that you may have saw in here that I was not paying much attention to was the American Sign Language on the skill. I don't know what it is that divers like to use to communicate. I assume it's some kind of special hand signals. American Sign Language is the closest thing I can get to off the top of my head is something that would work. Because underwater, you're going to run into a lot of noise problems, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to communicate. So some kind of like communication thing there is good to have in case you're not by yourself. Um, and then I guess let's be dumb. Go mythology and let's do aquatic. And instead of salvage, I like the idea of history. Let's change this to pirates. Pirate booty up. And that I think is gonna kind of cut it off for a little bit. I'm gonna throw dumb stuff like maybe a car, a comlink, some armor, probably just like an executive suite. Check my 20,000 or 26,000 new unit guide for like a basic runner thing. I will make a video for that sometime in a soon. And I want to thank you guys for coming by. Let me know if the air quotes shorter versions are better for you guys to consume. Um, we still went a little longer than I wanted to, but hey, at least it's content. It's not boring, lazy actual plays, right? Thanks. Have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good night.